Here we are at the student login area. You can add your school logo here for branding purposes. The student's username is the student number, and the student's default password is their surname. When students first log in, they arrive at the My Info section, which is available to all students from Year 7 to Year 12. The students can personalise this space in this area by changing the avatar, choosing their colour scheme, and putting in their preferred name, which will display on their plan over here. In terms of navigation, you will see at the top menu, we have 4 menu options: My Info, Study Timetable, the Notes section, and a resume template. We'll look at these sections a little bit later. On the left-hand side, there is a menu called Career Action Plans. This is where students can access their 3 or 4 sections of the career plan, and when they move up a year, the previous year's plan will be available here. In Year 7 to 9, we have 3 sections: the Basics, My Goals, and My Review. And in Years 10 to 12, we have an additional section called My Work, My Community. Once the student has completed details in the My Info section, they simply hit Save and Continue to access the next page of their plan. Once the Basics has opened, the student has to simply add details such as what they are enrolled in this year at school, proudest moments or achievements, improvements that could be made, subjects that they are studying, marks or feedback from school, their best and favourite subjects, their skills in various areas, and in the skills list, we open that up. We describe what a people skill is, and we really give a good explanation of what people skills are. We ask students what their interests are, their values, and they can undertake a test by selecting 10 of the top values in their lives. If they could only take 4 of them, which 4 would that be? And then if they could only take 3, what would the 3 be? They save that there. We then ask them to differentiate between their workplace values and their personal values. We ask students to write a personal statement. You may have noticed that we do have hints throughout the site. Students simply click on the light bulb and it offers them an explanation or some encouragement, and at times links to external sites so that they can complete the section of the plan. Student hits Save and Continue to open up the goals section of their plan. This is where they are completing their aspirations, their short-term and longer-term goals. So again, we're giving them hints about how they fill this section out. We have links to the job guide, My Future, and VTAC. We do keep these up to date, and if links become old or sites no longer exist, then we find new resources for the student to refer to. So we ask Year 10s to study 3 career or industry choices and outline the pathways to them. They then, once they get to Year 11 and 12, we ask them to do a more in-depth analysis of just 2 career or industry choices. We ask students if they will stay at school to complete VCE or VCAL, what they want to do in the next year, in the next 3 to 5 years, what could stop them from achieving their goals, who will help them with their goals, why they want to achieve their goals, what the Year 11 plan is. So do they want to undertake VCE to achieve an ATA score for university? Or do they want to undertake a VET course or a Certificate 2 or 3 study? Then the VCE subjects that they would like to take for next year. Again, the student saves and continues. And we have here the My Work, My Community section, where we're asking them about resumes, about work experience, if they've completed their Safe at Work certificates, if they are thinking of getting a tax file number. This works as a prompt. We don't want details of a tax file number. If they're working part-time and how many hours they work, to list the tasks undertaken in their current role. However, we do remind them that they can add those skills to their resume, whether they've had any previous paid employment or volunteer work. And finally, if they're happy with the plan and they think it is complete, So when the student selects yes, this pushes out to a report where you can see if the student has completed it. So we save that plan. Now, if we have a look here, there's also the review section. And the review section is simply the student going through the goal they set, marking down any that they achieved, if they want to work on achieving goals, who or what will help them, what their results were in the subjects that they studied, and any new goals that they want to achieve, and whether or not their career choices are the same. So then, if we go to the study timetable, you can see here students can simply pre-fill the commitments that they have, add the task, and once they've filled out all of their commitments, they can start adding in times where they can do homework. In the notes section, there are two areas: notes from you or other teachers, and notes that they can enter to keep records of meetings with you or any notes that they wanted to add themselves. In the resume templates area, we have tips on finding a job, tips about resumes. They can choose from 3 templates that are on offer here for different areas. So young people just download this resume. The resume is not retained in the system. We do have cover letters available here for them to download. So we'll log out of the student plan and have a look over at the administration area. So in the admin area, there are 4 sections. Account info, where you manage your administrators. You can add a new administrator or change your details. When you do add an administrator, you do have the ability to restrict access. So if you wanted your Year 10 coordinator to simply only have access to Year 10 students, then when they log in, they will only see a list of Year 10 students. We just go back to the home page. This is where you're directed to when you log in. And you can see here a list of all of your students. You can sort through this bigger list by clicking on the tabs above. You can search for an individual student or group of students. So we'll just have a search for Year 10. Now, if we go to the example student that we were just logged into there, and I select View Profile, it opens up the student's profile and I can see some information here. So I've got the contact details for the student, their email address and their phone number. I've got how many times the student has logged in. I have the notes section. So these are the notes that I've shared with the student. And then I have notes that I've shared with administrators. And only other administrators can see these notes. If I view the career action plan link, it opens up Bethy's plan, and I can see everything that the student was seeing from the administration level. So this is read-only access. I'll just close that down. Then I'll go back to the list of students. I will select a number of students here, and I can delete those students permanently from the school system. I can archive the students, which means that they will no longer show up in the general population list, but in the archived student list. I can reset all of those students' passwords, or I can send a note to multiple students at the one time. So if I wanted to record that they've attended an open day or undertaken some extra activity to do with career building and career development, I can add that there, and it will simply push a note out to all of the students. When we send a note to a student, it will also send a note to their email account to tell them that the note has been added and give them the contents of the note. So it doesn't rely on the student having to log back in. In the reporting section, and I will show some reports later in this presentation, we have a list of reports for all year levels. So we've got what Year 10s are studying this year, the transition report, which is a popular report. It shows you what the Year 10s want to do for a future career, the courses that they've said that they have to do, the prerequisites that apply to those courses, and you can also see the subjects that they're studying and the ones that they want to study in BCE. So that report prints nicely on an A3 piece of paper. To view reports, we simply view and then download. And when the reports download, they open in Excel. So this is an example there. Now, if I have a look at the resources area, you can see here, this is where you'll find your instruction sheets, your administration guides, and any resources that we provide you so that you can implement the program in your school. And I will just go back to reports and show you one more thing. The student career or interest area. This is where I can type a keyword that I'm looking for, a year level, let's say year 10, and I want to look at a career aspiration. My alternative is a subject that they are studying. I search for that and I get a list of all the students that have typed sport as a career aspiration. I can then target those students to go to a particular university, or if we're doing an industry talk or an industry visit, then I can get students that are absolutely interested and aspire to be in those areas. Okay, so I'll log out now. Thanks for your time.